Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. Funny that. I'm Doomlink, it's Doomlink's Live Hunts, who would have thought? I just bring attention to that because I find it a little bit repetitive that I say, it's me, Doomlink, and then I say, welcome to Doomlink's Live Hunts. Maybe I should just say, welcome to Doomlink's Live Hunts, and remove the former from the introduction. Maybe that would work a little better. This is an important video that I'm recording here because it's something of a test recording, and it was a little bit difficult to get this up and running, in fact, because I had a little bit of bad luck today, and I'll get into the story behind that soon. But I will mention first and foremost, which is kind of the whole point of what I'm saying here, this is being recorded on a new capture card. It's a new capture device. It is the Elgato HD60S. And the reason why I got a new capture card, even though I had a perfectly functional one before, or perfectly functioning, actually it wasn't perfectly functioning. That was the reason why I had to get a new one. It's perfectly functioning in the sense that whenever I record a game that's non-HDMI, it runs perfectly. But when I get any sort of HDMI connection, what happens with my original Elgato HD, which is what I used before this point for HDMI inputs, it would have the video get all stuttery, and it happens occasionally when I'm recording with the PS3 as well, but it seems to primarily be an HDMI issue, and hopefully by getting a new capture device here, we have more or less solved that problem. Not only is the hardware of the Elgato Game Capture HD60S superior to that of the original Elgato Game Capture HD, it also has the USB 3.0 technology, therefore allowing greater transfer speeds, and I think that's probably the biggest thing that is different here. In terms of how it probably looks a little bit better, I would hope so, as well as that it does support 60 FPS. We're of course not going to be recording at 60 FPS here for obvious reasons. This game doesn't run at 60 FPS, but yeah, that's definitely an option, if necessary, which it won't be because I don't have any consoles that I'll be recording that will run at 60, but anyway, anything that's 60 will essentially be on PC, that's the point that I'm making. And yeah, basically what I'm saying is that I'm going to be a lot happier personally with the result of anything that I'm recording through HDMI. To explicitly say what those consoles would be, it would be the Wii U, the Switch, and I guess the Xbox 360, should I want to record that for whatever reason. I haven't recorded the Xbox 360 in years, but should I want to do that, that's an option, of course, for PS3. I do have to use a component connection, unfortunately. But regardless, we will be going ahead with this recording momentarily. This is, once again, I'm sorry for all of those who are in the chat right now. I just needed to get my little introduction out of the way so that I could not be distracted by the chat. I'm getting the chat up now, and I will be able to communicate with you all at that time. In terms of the lighting, I know this is a bit of a boring subject here. We know, Doomlink, the lighting's always changing. Hello? Hi, Ethan. But anyway, hey Vernon, hey STB, and hello, Spanish guy. So, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. See, as soon as I interact with the chat, I'm knocking glasses together. I'm going to be drinking port in this recording, of course, but knocking glasses together is not ideal, I think you'll find. Anyway, what I was going to say was that getting this organized was very difficult, and it would have had to have been done at some point anyway, because obviously if I wanted to use this capture device, I would have had to, I guess, surpass this barrier that had been placed in my life to stop me from recording with it. What that barrier was, it was more of a physical sort of distance between the capture device itself and my setup, which is my PC setup, that is. It wasn't a problem with the... Actually, I'll get into the game so that I'm not sitting here talking constantly. But yeah, here we go. So we've got 14 people playing at the moment. It was 19 when I looked before. It's now 14. That's okay. Now it's 15, constantly fluctuating. That's fine. I'll just get into a room here and basically tell my very exciting story of why it's kind of 2 hours later than I was expecting to record, as I'm recording now. But, yeah, so what happened was, I got my capture card, not a problem, and then I realized that the input and output for HDMI had been switched for the... Can we not do this, please? Now, what causes that is an unstable host. If the connection from myself to the person who's hosting that room is unstable, that will cause an error generally. So we'll have to either try that again or try a different room, frustratingly. But anyway, it wasn't an issue in terms of my setup with my original Game Capture HD because it had the output for, or rather, it's not so much the output. While they were flipped, it wasn't actually that. It was the fact that the connection, the USB connection, was on the opposite side of the Game Capture card to that of the old one, as in the new one was flipped. And what that meant was that it would be going in the opposite direction to where I needed it to go. Instead of going to the left, it was going to the right towards my consoles. I don't know why they flipped that. I think they must have done some sort of research and realized that most people have their consoles that they're recording in the same general vicinity as the device they're recording to. I don't know if that's accurate, but I can tell you right now that that's certainly not my case scenario. Imagine you've got me in the middle, and then to my right are my consoles, and to my left is my computer setup. That's a distance of about 5 meters between those two things. So what that means is that if it's already, like if I've got the fucking USB connection input facing to the right instead of the left, that's already quite a bit of distance. Like that's half a meter of distance almost that I'm losing, and sometimes that's all it takes for your setup to not work at all. As well as that, I have two USB hubs. One is for USB 1.0, one is for USB 3.0. My 3.0 hub is not long enough to help closing that distance as well. So I had two issues involved there. And the only solution was for me to go and get a USB 3.0 extension cable, and guess what? My local store was sold out of them. So I had to get on a bus for 15 minutes going in one direction, then 15 minutes going in the other direction to get the freaking extension cable. But it doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. I'll go further into this in a moment when I have gotten into a room that's not going to kick me due to a connection issue. Yeah, it's not long enough, Ethan, unfortunately. I'm not even going to pursue that any further, but thank you for that joke. Anyway, my troubles didn't end there, because the first time, like, the bus that I was going to catch is about 10 minutes walking distance from my home. I walked 10 minutes to the bus stop, stood there for 15 minutes, was about to get on the bus as it arrived, and I realised I didn't have my bank card with me, which is what I require to pay for the bus trip, so needless to say I couldn't get on the bus. So I had to walk back home for 10 minutes, and then get my bank card, another 10-minute walk back to the bus stop, waited 5 minutes this time for the next bus, and then I was able to take my, in total, 30-minute journey that would be required to get this fucking thing, which was the extension cable. So it was a very lengthy process, and you can imagine I was somewhat frustrated, but we have actually reached the point now where there are no longer any problems, which is what I like to see. I do have my USB keyboard, but it's not plugged into the Wii U, unfortunately, so unless I really feel the need to communicate with these people, I will not. I'm going to quickly change weapons because I don't want them to get impatient with me. Generally, that's not an issue in this game. People do wait for the other player for quite some time, but I have seen people also completely disregard the fact that there's another person in the room and just go on the quest anyway. Generally because they're hunting with friends, I would suggest. But regardless, if they're not hunting with friends and they don't really care, they're pretty willing to wait for a while for you. It's not quite like the community that you would find in Generations Ultimate in that regard, but sometimes there are weirdos out there. So I'm not taking any chances on making this a quick process. And also for their benefit. Because why not? Anyway, so Ultra Lucky Cat, not really something that I need, but that's alright. Now in terms of the the hardware that I'm using here, the HD60S, it's a lot better than what I was using before in the sense, well, I did mention this before, one of the biggest benefits to it is the fact that you've got a USB 3.0 connection between the capture device and the PC. What that means is that I don't have to worry about delays being added through OBS, and that's really good because before I had an issue with OBS that was causing desyncing if I were not to set the delay while live, which was fucking annoying. I don't have to worry about that now, at least when I'm recording HDMI games. So there you go. What are we hunting? We are hunting Green Naga Cougar. So one starts in 7 and the other starts God knows where. So yeah, let's go and grab the one at 7. I would like to assume that we're closer to this one anyway. But yeah, I was about to mention the lighting conditions, and I didn't actually get done with that. I must have been distracted by the chat. But regardless, I think it was just as I was getting my chat up, in fact. But anyway, regarding the lighting conditions, because I'm starting a lot later than I intended to, we're now getting into afternoon, and unfortunately the lighting conditions are going to be changing a lot more than I initially desired for them to be changing, so I may have to mess around a little bit. Because there's no delay, in fact it is a little bit dark right now, which is fucking bothersome. Like, the lighting has already changed in the 10 minutes it's been since I went live, so, you know. And I know you guys are saying, Doomlink, relax, the lighting's fine. Well, no, it's not, actually. Like, I always need to make sure, and if it ends up looking like shit, and you've got a 3-hour-long recording that looks like shit, that's frustrating. When you could instead have a... Why am I the only one fighting this guy? We were here, weren't we? Were we not here together as a group, and now all of a sudden we're not? Well, not all of us were here, but I do know that I had at least one other guy here, so he decided to abandon me and go and head to Area 5. This is one of those rare hunts where I've actually seen people go to Area 5 to hunt that one instead of go to Area 7. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Maybe they've got rocks in their brain, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Because at the end of the day, they both are going to die. I'm going to get my... Oh yeah, that's good to hear that you got the Hayabusa Feather, Vernon. I'm actually pretty close to getting it myself. Of course, we're referring to Generations Ultimate. That is kind of a frustrating task for me at this stage because I am going to need to do the Prowler quests, and if you guys know anything about me, I'm not that into the whole Prowler business, and so not looking forward to either playing as Prowler or having that shit on my guild card, because at the moment I have minimum 110 uses on all weapon types, except for Prowler, which is at 3, and I take pride in that, you know. Which to some people might be a little strange. Also, yes, I do realise that the performance here is really terrible. That's just Area 5 in 3 Ultimate, unfortunately. The frames are really crap, and it's just an issue. It's one of the many issues that 3 Ultimate has as a rather poorly done port. But anyway. From what a friend of mine has told me, what's happening with 3 Ultimate is that they're actually taking the 3DS version for emulation, and they're taking all the assets from the Wii U version and putting them into the 3DS version. So it's going to run better, and it's going to look better, and that's pretty fucking exciting. And you can actually take the Wii U save by getting the 3DS version of the game on your 3DS, and actually transferring the save from the Wii U to the 3DS, which is possible, and then at that point taking your 3DS save, putting it on your PC, and then at that point you can play with people, I'm assuming, with whatever that finished product will be that I just described of the 3DS version of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and I'll be able to do that with my original save. So that's really awesome. I guess I followed the monster... No, I didn't follow the monster in the wrong direction, because I paintballed the one that I was fighting before, but forgot to paintball this one. Why are you guys going in that direction? Are you that ignorant? Please, guys, they are actually completely confused. They're like, what's going on? I didn't really see where the monster went, but I see that there's a paintball over there, so let's go to the paintball. Or maybe I'm the idiot. Yeah, maybe I'm the idiot. It turns out I'm the idiot, that's alright. Doomlink is shown to be an idiot live. Who would have thought? No. I was pretty sure that their rotation would not take them in that direction. I thought it was a counterclockwise rotation, but no, it's actually monster health dependent, obviously, so there you go. Where is that person? Someone's gone and ended up in the camp. You know, I was actually really confused for a moment, because I was like, why is he over there? There's no camp there in this game, because I'm so used to playing the deserted island in Portable 3rd and Generations Ultimate. But of course, the camp is actually in the correct place, over that way, as it was in Tri. You know, I've been playing so many different Monster Hunter games lately that I'm not even registering what game it is that I'm sitting down and playing. It's really bizarre. But anyway. So we're getting some G-Rank Green Naga Cougar stuff. Of course, G Naga is Green Naga, not G-Rank Naga. Well, that worked out very nicely. Maybe they know the rotations better than I do. This is a frickin' beefy. I was about to, you know, dive out of the way of that roar, but actually, not necessary, because I have Rocksteady. But, What was I going to say? I had lots of different things I wanted to say at that moment, but whatever. Maybe none of them were important. At the very least, I was going to say this is a beefy Nagakuga, and I was also going to say maybe the rotations are better if you start with the one in Area 5, because this happens. Possibly, I don't know. Maybe that was just convenient and no one intended for that. Who knows? I still haven't gotten the chance to pour a drink. I'll do it after this hunt. I do plan to record for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that here. Especially because I went to all this trouble to go live today. So I would like to, at the very least, be able to make the most of it and record for a while. So we'll see how long I end up going for. Here we go. Need to get my charge up here. Oh, I will take this opportunity to aim for the tail. Not that anyone probably needs the tail. I'm sure someone has accepted this quest either because they need Green Naga stuff or because, well, my point was that it's highly likely that someone has accepted the quest just for the sake of getting the Hunter rank points, but maybe someone needs Green Naga stuff. I mean, there's not much that requires Green Nagakuga in this game. I'm trying to think what the armor set gives. The weapons generally go from, I think, regular Nagakuga to Lucent. So I don't think you would really do Green Nagakuga in this game. It's not quite the same as Portable Third, where regular Nagakuga upgraded into Green Nagakuga, and Green Nagakuga would be your best level for all the Nagakuga weapons. At least that's how I remember it. So does someone need Green Nagakuga? We still haven't yet established if that's the case, after our long deliberation. So, yeah, life goes on. I don't think this guy's going to last for much longer, and who would have thought? I couldn't even finish the sentence before he died. Awesome job, lads. Get the Brooklyn, says YOLO. Okay, well, to start with, his name in-game is YOLO, so I suppose that would sort of mark his level of... No, let's take it easy, Doomlink. No need to start judging people based on names like YOLO, but, I mean, it does speak for itself, doesn't it? Vernon, you just need to complete... Vernon says you just need to complete the Yukumo Chief quests, and once you complete the low-rank quests advance out of the frying pan, you get it. Yeah, right. So there are some... What do you mean, the Yukumo Chief quests? I'm assuming this is in context with the fact that I said that I really just needed to do the Prowler quests, but I'm assuming that they're required as well. If what you said was in reference to that, I don't really understand how that relates, unless you mean that I don't need to do the Prowler quests and I need to do that instead, something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna go pour myself a drink now, as opposed to after returning from the quest, because, I don't know, I'm desperate for some alcoholic beverage. I actually splashed out on my leg a little bit. Just so you know, wine plus clothes doesn't mix so well. Doesn't mix well at all. But, it's not the first time I've splashed wine on this particular pair of pants, so maybe we'll be alright. And some would say, your decanter's not very well designed, Doomlink, because you have to wipe the thing every single time you pour from it. I would have to agree. But it's antique, who knows? Maybe they didn't have the foresight. Well, not so much the foresight, but the ingenuity, maybe. I don't know. I mean, people had ingenuity in the past, surely. Anyway, so... let's go and put all this stuff away. Once again, every single time I play 3 Ultimate, I need to watch for any stack that's at 99, because that means I'm limiting that particular item to a single stack, because I do have limited space in my item box in this game. You don't have too many pages, so if you're someone like me who guns a lot and you have a lot of combination materials, that's really going to eat up your space. And if we have a look, you will see that, well, it's a bit harder to see when everything's blanked out, but let's see if I've got a lot of combination materials. So I have a lot of needleberries. No, actually I don't have too many needleberries in reality. Rough day. Ethan, I just went into an explanation as to why it took me so long to get started here, and I'm pretty sure you were in the stream, so... Anyway, I've got a shitload of pin tuna. No, I don't. See, I keep thinking I have a shitload of pin tuna, but I have other, or rather, I thought I had a lot of needleberries, but I just have a lot of berries that are grey. And I thought I had a lot of pin tuna, but I actually just have a lot of fish that are grey. So, yeah. But as you can see, I really don't have too many spaces to spare. So therefore, having extra stacks for a monster material is going to take up one of these spaces. And it's not, like, it's not proportionate in value to what it's actually taking up there. So I'm going to, again, as I said, try to limit a number of monster materials to single stacks. I haven't done it religiously. There are probably some... Here's an example right here. I've got an extra stack for Volvidon Cortex. So there are certain monsters that will not have their stacks quite so culled. But that doesn't mean I can't do it now. It's better now than never. Better late than never. But again, you sort of have to go through all of them individually, and it takes a little bit of time. But I will mention that, again, we are playing 3 Ultimate, so it's going to be very relaxed. No one's going to be in a rush to get into the next quest or anything, so we're just going to sit back and enjoy ourselves. Why the You know, guys, just between you and me, if the screen's black, let me know. I have got no idea how long this has been black. Jesus H. Christ on a fucking